Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Lori and I go to American College of Healthcare Sciences, and this is going to be one of my experiments that I have to do. Well, not quite an experiment, but we're going to make a tincture today. And first thing I'm going to make is, this is chaga. I don't know if you're much familiar with it. But it grows on the birch trees in Maine, northern Maine and most northern countries, and it's excellent for your body. What it does is it brings whatever is out of balance, it brings it back to balance. If your blood pressure is high, it usually brings it to a level, or if it's low, it'll bring it up. And it works with all kinds of wonderful things, like if you have arthritis or different psoriasis, different things. It just works it works to bring your body back to balance so that it can restore itself to health and wellness. But we're going to do this one first. And this is how I make my tincture. Okay, this is some of the chaga, and usually when you get it like this, I recommend that if you get chaga and you find any which grows on the birch trees, it's considered a mushroom, make sure it's easier to chop it up before you dry it, because if you don't, it gets like a rock. It's very hard. This stuff here my son gave me, so it's solid big rocks. It's like a rock. So usually I recommend you put it in like 3 or 4 bags and then hit it with a hammer and it'll break it up for you. Then you have smaller pieces like this. Okay, and then I take, this is 80 proof vodka, and let's see, you put your chaga in here, and I rinsed it because just to make sure after this has been dry, breaking up, and I'll put that in there. And with chaga, usually, like, it's not like other tinctures, you can do it in 2 weeks. I keep mine for at least 2 months because it really gets the constituents out of it. It really makes it really good. And what I do after with the chaga tincture, after I finish making it, and then I strain it and put it in dark colored bottles. And if those of you have redemption centers around, which I found is a lot cheaper than buying the bottles, is if you have a redemption center and they have like the dark blue bottles that people buy, return from like vodka and stuff like that, you can make sure that fills over the top of that. What you can do is you can get them for like 20 cents a bottle, because they only give a redemption of 10 cents. So I got a bunch of the big blue ones, and they're awesome. You can take the little plastic thing off the top and sterilize them in boiling hot water, and you got yourself some dark bottles that are really cheap. Okay, so what I do is, I should have poked this around. Usually I poke it around. I forgot to get something, but I don't want to walk away from the camera. Put the cover on it. Okay. And canna jar. Let me see. I like to fill my chaga full. Yeah, there it goes. And then just turn it around twice a day. It's a good idea to do this. Keep it in just a spot somewhere on your counter where you'll see it so you won't forget it. Okay, and just do that twice a day. Now usually you can find chaga in some of the health food stores, and it runs, some places it can run up to $46 a pound. So if you live in the northern states, you can just take a walk through the woods and maybe you'll find some. But that's how I do that. And then that'll sit for at least, for me, I like it strong for 2 months. When it's done, I'll strain it. Then I'll take some more chaga, and then I boil it, and I leave it steeping for like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Makes it really strong. I make it very strong, and that's what you call dual extraction. And then you mix the very strong chaga with half and half of the tincture chaga, and then you get the dual extraction, which is excellent, because there's constituents in the tincture. There's different constituents in the steeped chaga. So this way you're getting both, in which it's more nutrients in it. But anyways, that's chaga. Now this here is from our school, the apothecary shop. Okay, and this is organic dandelion root, or Taraxacum officinalis. Okay, so we're going to make this because Dandelion root is really good, especially in a tincture. You can put it in, like any of the tinctures, you can put them in a hot tea, and it usually will take some of the alcohol out. But you only need like 10 to 20 drops under the tongue, or in a different type if you have a smoothie or whatever you're making. But this here, the dandelion root is excellent for detox. It's for cleansing your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder, any of that. It's really healthy for cleansing. And so especially if someone has got a lot of problems with kidneys and liver, this would be really good to get it cleansed and get some of this in there. But even just a little bit of just hot water in a cup and just chase it down with a couple of drops in it. And that would just get rid of the alcohol in it. Enough. This one I don't have a lot of, so even though I couldn't find a smaller jar today, I'm going to use the bigger jar, okay, but I'm just not going to fill it. And this, you would do the same thing. You would put the alcohol, vodka, 80 proof, okay, and fill that. And this would be really good because, especially after the holidays and spring's coming, it's a good cleanser. And I'm probably just going to fill it, I'd say a little over half, because I didn't have too much here. There we go. That should be fine. And then, like, let's see. So, I'm trying to see. This is it says 1 ounce. So you put your cover on it and do the same thing. Mix it around, and you're going to do that twice a day. This can go 2 to 4 weeks, I believe. So, and then you'll have a good strong tincture. But the chaga, see, it's already getting dark, and it really, it's amazing. It's really amazing. When I started doing chaga, when I started drinking, I used to have arthritis. See, my fingers are crooked here. I used to get it really bad. So I heard this Dr. Castaigne, I think that's his proper name, but I heard him talking about it and how he used it for all kinds of stuff. And so I tried it, and I used to have trouble getting up in the morning. And once I started drinking it, I started getting sorry, I had to take a break. I have children in my house, and they tend to get in the way, and they were making me lose my concentration. But anyways, with the chaga, when I started drinking it, because I used to have so much pain, this was years ago, and I stumbled across it because I was looking for how to tap a birch trees, because we were looking at some land that had a lot of birch trees, and I stumbled across it. But at the time, I was going through a lot of pain with arthritis, and so I heard someone, that Dr. Castaigne said that it was really good for arthritis too. It helps get your joints going and stuff. And so what I did was, my husband was like, he worked in the woods, and he said, I see that stuff all the time. So he brought me some home, and I really had a hard time mornings getting up, and I was stiff. And I started drinking the chaga tea. I drank the tea. I take one of these chunks. I scrape off some of the black. You don't need as much black. The black stuff is more for if someone has cancer. It's really more stronger. And the brown part is really good. And it really makes a good tea. It tastes like I think it tastes like maple syrup when you first start to tap the trees, and when you first boil it down, it has that light flavor like a maple syrup in the tea part. And what I do is I take a big chunk, and I have a Pyrex coffee pot that I keep it in, and I just boil it and shut it off and let it steep, and I just keep using it all day, and then I pour more in. So I turn it off in the morning, I turn it on in the morning, steep it, and then shut it and let it steep all day. Then when I come home, I'll have a cup in the morning and a cup at night, and then at night before I go to bed, I'll pour more water in there, steep it again, and because this chunk here will last you, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how much you use it. Or you can make a big pan of it and boil it, and then you can just put it in jars, and drink it cold in the summertime, or mix it with other things. But I really love my chaga, and it's like it giving me my life back, because I felt like I was so fatigued all the time, and I just felt like, well, how can I explain it? When I started drinking it, I felt like I was alive again. I thought I know I'm getting older, but I felt like I was like, oh, this is my life now. I'm going to be like this. And I was always active. I love to do things. I love to garden. And when I started drinking the tea, After about 3 days, I was waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, early, mostly 5. I had energy. I could move my joints and everything, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And that was like 4 years ago. And now I decided to go to Bible college. Not Bible college, sorry. I was, my husband's a pastor, so that's where I'm getting that from. But I decided to go to American College of Healthcare Sciences to further my education in holistic medicine, because I'm just amazed at how wonderful it works. And so it's all about wellness. Get yourself healthy. You know, when you're using tinctures and herbs, it's not like when you take an aspirin. You have to have patience. You got to, you know, it works with changing your diet, but you got to be consistent with it. And you will find you'll feel so much better, and you'll get your life back. So there we go. And don't forget, shake them twice a day. That's it. Thank you, and God bless.